Yo, it's for you, bro.
Bueno.
Saúl, welcome to Step the Show.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Can I say bad words in this show?
Yeah, man. This is not regulated, so we're on the internet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Prepare for takeoff.
You're now listening to Stepner Show.
Thank you for coming. It's the weekend. I appreciate you being here.
Love it. Any chance I can get to, be on a podcast, I'm down.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to bring you on here is because when recently someone asked me, like, what do I need to know about podcasting? I want to do a podcast and I have a bunch of questions. And I said, you should talk to Saúl.
This guy. Actually, I'm about to launch a consulting company for podcasting. I've been doing it privately, like word of mouth, but now I'm going to open it to the public.
Well, I will endorse you. I will recommend you to anybody because I remember the first time you and I sat down, I asked you 10 questions in a row, boom, 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 boom. And so I approve your message to consult.
Thank you so
How did you
much.
get into the consulting thing though?
I just meet through, shout out to meet through. I never thought about consulting at all. I was just doing podcasts and they did pretty good. And they asked me hey, we're starting a podcast. Can you help us? And I was like, yeah, I'm down. And then, so that's the first time I stepped into the consulting role. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I kind of know there's so much to it. There's a science to everything, the way people sit, the type of microphones they use, everything. There's there's everything when it comes to a podcast to create, because you want to have a good podcast, you got to create a vibe. So what vibe are you trying to persuade, and what vibe, and does the vibe for the show match the host? And do the host, where the host sit, does that match the vibe? Because I think it's called feng shui or something like that. When you, the way you set your house for the best energy to move and flow. Same thing with the podcast. If you have someone who's super loud next to another person who talks a lot, but then the shy one is kind of on the second camera, that person's going to get kind of washed out a little bit. So you kind of position them in ways where they can all work off of each other.
Dang, so you're working with acoustics and you're working with design.
Everything.
Oh my goodness. But also
even the chairs, sometimes, because I learned this the hard way. When we first started the show, we had some really comfortable couches, and they will sink in, and we will film for 2 hours. So by the end of the show, our guests would just be all slouched up, and they wouldn't repost it because they look all slouched. And I'm like, are you serious? So I was like, let's not get those couches anymore. So now I get couches that have smaller seats. And it has a good back so they can sit up straight.
How you feeling right now in that chair?
Loving it. This is I would use this chair. This is a great size chair for podcasting.
My goodness. Speaking of vibes, man, you got a lot of things going on. I saw your image in Times Square.
Oh yeah.
I see you're on stage doing stand up.
Yeah.
And what else you got going on? Boom, it's Saturday, you're going to party tonight. What are you looking forward to sharing with someone that you're excited to do when you go to this party tonight?
My elevator.
What? Yeah. What's Saúl?
What's he working on?
What's Saúl Vicente Gomez gonna do tonight?
Cry.
Or what are you looking forward to? What's on the horizon?
What I'm looking forward to is definitely launching my consult. So I'm launching a new business, and it's podcast consulting and brand outreach and marketing. So I'm gonna start selling ads to influencers and getting other brands, and packaging it with my consulting. So let's say if someone wants to be part of my consulting, they want podcast consulting, I'll automatically have them under the list of okay, now I'll look for brands for you and I'll send them your way and stuff like that. So that's kind of my new thing. And I want to do it as it's extra cash in your pocket type of thing. So it's not a subscription service. It's just give me your email, give me your one sheet. And if there's a brand that's reaching out for an audience like you, and I'll connect you guys.
And how did you, first of all, before we get into the consulting, how did you get into a position where you started to use your voice in podcasting and comedy? What was it about your voice that you decided, hey, give me a microphone, I'll take over the world?
I want to shout out my Chicano studies teacher. I think I didn't know anything about really Latino history and stuff like that, only what they tell you. And then I remember when I went to my first semester in college, I was looking for classes to fill up my schedule. And I saw one that said Chicano history. And I was like, I'm not going to take it. And I took psychology instead. But I went to the psychology class, and I was on the wait list. And it was you might not make it to the class. And I was like, okay, I guess I would do Chicano studies. So I want to go do Chicano studies. And I loved it. Like, I loved it. Every time, like, the professor would, like, speak about things, I was just so in awe. I was like, how do people not know about this? Like, this is crazy. I've never heard about this. How am I barely finding out about this right now? And I remember I would just write notes. And at the time, I was, like, a screenwriter. So I was writing movies. I was in his, like, class just creating scripts instead of, like, taking notes, because he'll say something, and I get inspired. I was like, oh, what if you do this, this, and that? And I remember that was my favorite class, and I failed it. Just because I was just so inspired. Like, he would say something. I was like, oh, someone's got to talk about this. And I just write notes about what I want to do outside of the class, not about what's going on in the class. And then, so that kind of transitioned into, let me tell people about this. So I started doing the podcast, and I started talking a lot about, like, Latino history and stuff like that.
Oh, my goodness. That's kind
of how that went, yeah.
So you go from student to writer to entrepreneur.
Yeah, I would say it was from... Because I've been doing YouTube since I was like 12.
Dang.
So it
for
was
like 5 years?
yeah, 5 years, 17. So yeah, I've been doing so creative. I never wanted to go to school. I just did school for my mom and for financial aid. Shout out to financial aid. So I did that, and then I was like YouTube scripts. So I was writing like I loved writing. And then I got into the podcast world. I never saw myself getting in the podcast world. Like, I had actually my friend Rex here, him and my friend Hans were the ones that said I should start a podcast. And I was like, bro, no one listens to podcasts. Like, I don't get it. Because I'm super visual. I want to be an actor. Why am I going to be audio?
Right.
And look at me now.
And so what was that first step like into creating the podcast?
Doing it. Just doing it. I think, actually, you know what the first step is, actually?
Like,
so
but like your first step, like
my first step, I didn't have really money at the time, and I called my friend who was super into stock, and I told him, I was like, hey bro, I have the best stock for you. He's like, what? And I'm like, my podcast. He's like, how much you need? And I was like, I don't know, probably like $300-400. And he sent me the $400, and I bought all the equipment I needed, and I just called up Aaron and Caesar, and we're like, bro, I got an idea, just pull up and we're just gonna see what happens. And we just did it. And after like literally the first episode, I was clipping it and it was going viral. Second episode, viral. Third one, viral. By the sixth episode, we're pretty solid.
And what's your podcast about?
So it fluctuates because we've been doing this for a long time. So it started with like Latino, like nostalgia, talking about Latino experiences. Then it did like Latino history, and then it just turned into like relationship advice and pop culture. So our thing is that we're retired toxicos. We're like retired fuckboys. Like, we don't do that no more. We left it in the past. But now we help our listeners be like, oh, watch, because we have a whole segment called Take the Mic where people send in their questions, any advice, and we're like, well, from us who used to be in that situation, we used to think like that. This is what you should look out for. And it was a hit, and the girls loved it, and it was fun.
So in addition to consulting podcasts and marketing, you're consulting
relationship guru.
And you know, one of the things that you said on this campaign we were doing for the Nugs, you said it's very important to stay in touch with your friends with the same amount of effort and dedication as you would to someone of romantic interest, because your homies are also just as important.
Oh yeah, I think my homies call me more than like any girlfriend I've ever had. Like, it's crazy. Like, they get more jealous. They're like, who are those friends you're hanging out with? Like, yeah, my friends are jealous. But yeah, I agree. So I mean, yes, but yeah, definitely your friends are just like a relationship too. You know, you gotta. It's everything. Everybody's a relationship. You gotta, even in this industry, everything's a relationship. You wanna, when people ask me like, what do you need to like make it out here? I'm like, relationships. Like, be a great person and be there for people. Tell them happy birthday. Tell them happy Thanksgiving. Just things like that. Happy New Year, and just be a kind, genuine person. And that goes, yeah. So I think that's one of the keys to just making it.
And what's been some of like your favorite memories in creating in your podcast that you've done?
Oh,
like,
man.
you said there's a whole arc of like pop culture to relationship advice. Like,
one of my favorite memories in the podcast. Sheesh. Man, there's so many. I think the most obvious one is the Times Square one. That one was really cool. That one was like a full circle moment for me because I remember in 2020 during COVID, I was just so fed up with everything. I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, I don't like this. I was working as a mailman. And I hated that job. I hated it so much.
Like delivering the mail, man?
I was walking,
delivering the mail?
Yeah. I was walking house to house, delivering mail. Hated it so much.
Dang, so you almost went postal.
Yeah, bro, that's such a real thing. I'm glad you brought that up because people don't believe me. But people go postal. Like, people, like, it's a real thing. Like, the job is so easy that it fucks with you mentally and you just go postal. Like, they told me when we're doing the training and everything, they said everybody in here is gonna cry during this job, and I was like, I'm not, bro. Last time I cried, I was like 10. I was like, I'm not gonna cry delivering mail.
Damn.
You know what happened a month later?
You cried.
I was in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven.
Niagara Falls in your face.
Niagara Falls. I called my supervisor. I'm quitting. He's like, why? Because why the fuck am I crying over mail? Like, what the hell?
And were you in the field? Like,
yeah, I was in the field. It's because like it was already like 9 p.m. It was dark. It was cold. It was raining, and I was lost. I had no idea what was next. My mail fell, so everything's all out of order. And now they're calling me. They're like, hey, after you're done, you have to go help this other guy. I look back. I have the whole truck filled with mail. I was like, what the fuck? What time am I going to get home? I was just stressed. And I just broke. I just started crying. And I was like, I can't believe I'm fucking crying over mail right now. And I called my supervisor. I was like, hey, I'm not doing this. I'm returning all of this. No, don't do it.
Oh, that's why I go paperless billing, man.
Thank you.
I have a stack of mail over there I haven't opened right behind you.
But yeah, that I don't know how we got into that conversation. What was it?
Stamps, I don't know. But
oh yeah. What my favorite memory? So I remember after that, I was like, because I've always wanted to be in the entertainment business. So I was like, call my cousin who's always down for some random adventure. I was like, let's go to New York. Let's go to Times Square this weekend. It was like 3 days. It was 3 days away. He's like, all right. So he comes with me and we go to Times Square. And I was like, I just wanted to see what entertainment looks like. I just want to see success. And I went to Times Square and I just stood there. I was just looking at all the billboards and I was like, I'm going to be on one of these billboards 100%. And I told my cousin to take a picture of me. And so I'm there just like in front of a billboard. Flash forward to like, I think 2 years later. Now I have a billboard literally right next to the billboard I took a photo with.
Oh, damn.
So that was the biggest thing. And I flew out my mom so she can go see it too. Because I wanted to show her that, because my mom's my biggest supporter. So I wanted to show her that her support is going somewhere. So that was.
I gotta ask, memory. How did you get to the billboard of Times Square? Yeah.
So it was Friday the 13th, a full moon. And I took a chicken up to a hike, sliced its throat.
Kosher
drank
kill.
its blood.
Kosher kill.
Yeah.
Brujeria.
Yeah.
Trade secrets. I get it.
Shout out to Spotify. They're the ones that did it. They that day was crazy. It actually happened last year, literally exactly a year ago last year. They because we're Spotify partners, and we're already just in their atmosphere, and we went to every event Spotify invited to us.
Damn.
We went to every event, every time they needed someone, whenever they needed a survey, if they're like, oh, leave a review, can you do the survey for us? I did every survey, I did every review, I went to every event, I met everybody, I shook everybody's hand. I was like, this is Spotify. Why am I not giving, like, I'm your guy, like, you guys are fucking Spotify. So, they always kept us in mind, and for Hispanic Heritage Month, they said, "Hey, we have a billboard spot with you guys. Do you have any headshots?" And I had headshots, but my co-host didn't have headshots, and it was a quick turnaround. They're like, "Oh, we need it by tomorrow," and I was like, "What? Oh shit! All right." So I called like 3 photographers. I called Caesar. I called Aaron. It's like, whatever you guys are doing, drop it. We gotta go take photos right now.
Dude, I think I remember that. You were like posting on Insta, like, I need a photographer.
Yeah. So we did that, and we got the photos, and I sent it in right away. And then a couple of days later, they said like, okay, this is the day that it's gonna be up, and we're super excited. I bought the flight and I bought the hotel, And me, I never buy flight insurance. And I remember the day before, like I already, like it was the day before, and they're like, oh, actually they're changing the day to next week. And I'm like, I already got these plane tickets and I have no insurance. Like I can't fucking return these things. So I lost out on that. And so I had to get a plane ticket again. And we went next week. But it was a great moment. It was cool. But you know what was my favorite moment of that whole thing? It wasn't the billboard. It was the people that showed up. Because we posted we're having a meet and greet in front of the billboard. And we had like 20 people show up in the rain. And that was the best moment for me. Like having all these people, like all of our supporters, all of our fans being there, enjoying the moment with us. That was my favorite part.
Wait, and who were these people?
Fans? Our fans.
Fans?
Yeah, our fans.
So when you're there with your fans, you're looking up at the billboard, and for people who are listening to this for the first time, what is the title of your podcast?
IE in Friends.
What does that stand for?
Inland Empire in Friends.
Yay!
So IE is Inland Empire. It's like an hour away from Los Angeles. And yeah, it's kind of like a region of a bunch of different cities. Like there's LA and there's IE. There's the Bay. There's the OC. There's IE. So that's what that is. Yeah.
Love it. I rarely go out to the Inland Empire, but I always feel like anytime you say it, you got to stay with like Star Wars vibes, like Inland Empire.
yeah. I saw something. It's like I saw a meme. It's like when people say they're from the Inland Empire, this is what I think about, and it's like an old like dude in like it's like the old like king days and stuff. It's like the Romans. Stuff.
Exactly, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones type of vibe.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah.
So you're sitting in Times Square,
Yeah.
Big Apple, your face is on billboards, you're surrounded by fans. And then after that, I see you on stage doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
How do you go from the podcasting to the live performance of comedy?
Funny enough, I wanted to do stand-up before I did podcasting. I remember another full circle moment. I remember I used to record myself doing fake stand-ups. And I would just put like my camera and I'll stand and pretend like I'm talking to a crowd and recording it. And I remember I posted it on Facebook. It was a joke about how to find the best taco spots. And I remember I posted that on Facebook and I just kept doing it. And I was doing really good on TikTok as well. Cause after I quit the mailman, I became an Amazon driver and I just started doing like stand-up bits in the Amazon truck. And they're doing really good. So my TikTok was popping off. And then so I always had that, like, I always liked making bits and stuff. And I remember when I uploaded the first stand-up video on YouTube, my fake stand-up, it was like a random day.
You're going from the post office
to Amazon
driving.
Doing stand-up bits.
And doing stand-ups in the truck.
Yeah. And I remember the first video I did, I just posted on a random day on Facebook. And then I ended up doing the podcast. And then we got our first stand-up comedian guest on the podcast. His name was Richard Villa.
Oh, I've worked with Richard Villa before.
Dope.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to do stand-up. And he's like, well, come do it with me. Come open for me. And I was like, all right. So I opened for him. And I remember it was crazy. The morning of the show, I remember, you know how Facebook does Facebook memories? Mm-hmm. It said Facebook memories, and it was the video of me posting about the tacos.
Oh,
the first ever video I ever posted about stand-up. And it was literally on the exact same day.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yo, what are the odds? So, yeah.
So you go from doing self-tapes of your comedy, doing them online.
You're doing on stage.
And then you bring in comedians onto your show, and then you become a comedian.
Yeah. So it was, that's how I did it. And I really liked it. I liked it so much. But it is so time consuming. Stand-up comedy is so time consuming.
It's hard. It's like the hardest thing I've ever done.
Non-stop writing and rewriting and going up to like the places to go do it. I couldn't really do it and balance all the shows I was doing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
so tell me about how now you're podcasting, you're doing stand-up, you're moving into the consulting. Why that?
I like I'm such like an open book, and I'm like, I love helping people, and I see people do podcasting, and I was like, and I see like their editing and their equipment and the way they're doing it, and I'm like, you know, if you do this, it'll be way better, and then they'll do it, and like, yo, this is way better, and I'm like, I was like, so I just like the able to make someone's life easier. I like making people's life easier. I was like, just do this, fix this, change that, things will work out great. So that was that, and I was like, why not? Like, it's a cool like side gig, side hustle. So I was like, I can go for it. And people started seeing my success in the podcast, and they want me like to replicate it. So I was I've been flown out to a couple states just to go like fix podcasts, and it was pretty cool. So I was like, okay, this is dope. I like this. So I just liked it.
After sitting with you for like 30 minutes, I changed some of the stuff that I do on my show.
Oh, really?
So I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And I'm sure
I'll send you an invoice.
Hey. Send it through the mail.
To the mail. So it can get lost.
Exactly.
On a rainy day.
So you also said you want to be an actor.
Yeah.
So tell me about what the acting world has been like for you here.
I started acting first. I did acting before COVID. I was doing, actually, crazy story.
Love crazy stories.
I was 11 years old when I went on Google. And I put, I'm 11 and I want to be famous. And it took me to an acting school in Beverly Hills, John Casablanca. And I was doing it, and I was crushing. I was doing so good. Like, the teachers were inviting me to all these showcases. And there's this one showcase that they wanted me to do. And it was like one of their big ones. It was like the ones that they look forward to all year. And so they invited me to it. They're like, here, go do this. They told me to talk to my mom. So we go to this one building in downtown LA. It's this giant hall, and there's just a bunch of actors just sitting down. And in the back, it's all these casting directors and agents. I remember I was just kind of sitting there. I was like 12, 11, and I'm just kind of just chilling. I'm watching people go up on stage and doing their like monologue. And I wasn't really paying attention to anything going on. And then it was my role's turn to go up. And then when I was walking up, I was like, wait, were we supposed to like memorize something? And they're like, yeah, like they gave us a paper. And I was like, oh, that paper. I was like, I didn't even look at it. And I was like, oh shit, so what am I going to do? So mind you, everybody was saying the same monologue. And it was my turn. And so I just did a monologue from like just one I already had in store. And I just did, I was like, I forgot how I went, but the end was like, bite into Kellogg's Pop-Tarts and get ready for something wild. And bro, the whole room just started bursting up in laughter. Like everybody was just loving it, enjoying it. And they sent me to the back right away. They're like, come here.
Call back on the spot.
Yeah. So I met like 3 people. They exchanged information with my mom. Following week, felt like I was in the Illuminati, bro. Felt like I was selling my soul. I remember we went to a building in downtown LA. Got on this elevator, went all the way to the top, walked into this one room. And I'm not even lying, bro. I don't remember the guy's face. I just remember he was wearing a suit, and I just remember down. And he's like, he literally slides a paper like this. And then my mom looks at me, and because that was to go to New York. They had another big showcase in New York. And they wanted me to go over there, but it wasn't, like, we had to still pay for everything.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so we didn't have that money. And at the time, I was going to private school. So this is like, bro, I say this, and people listening, they just think I'm so dumb. I think I'm dumb, but everything happens for a reason. She said, like, it's either you continue at private school or you go to New York. I was like 12, 11, and I was scared, and I chose school. So my dream ended there. My acting dream ended there. But I just started doing YouTube. I started reacting. Mad TV skits. And I was just posting on YouTube, and that did really good. I started doing really good on YouTube. So that was cool. And then so now after that I graduated high school, I was like, let me get back into the acting thing. So I quit YouTube to go into acting. And I was doing workshops, and I was doing acting classes. And I remember I did one workshop, and they're like, so what you guys want to do is you want to get into social media. And I was like, wait, I just came from social media, and I was doing really good. Because I want to be over here, and you tell me to go back. And then I was fucking conflicted. I was like, what the hell? And then COVID struck and everything. Like, I wasn't going to do no acting classes over Zoom. I was like, nah, I ain't going. So, and then that's how I got into the podcast world.
So between podcasting, acting, and comedy, which one's your favorite?
I want to say acting. That one's my favorite. Acting and stand-up and podcasting. Podcasting is fun, but I just don't know what to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's left? I don't know. But I like Yes, I think acting is my main one. And I'm gonna go back into acting. Actually, I'm gonna get my headshots very soon.
Oh hell yeah, man! What kind of movies do you want to be in?
Rom-coms.
Hey,
Rom-coms and
coming from a retired toxico.
exactly.
Yo, I love that, man.
I can tap into like my inner.
You have this like
method acting.
you have this profound relationship advice vibes. Like every time I hear you speak about relationships,
It's like he's cooking.
I
like,
listen.
He knows. Yeah, like this guy, he knows some things.
Exactly, and it's like, what are some of your top 3 things that you want people to know when it comes to like why you chose to retire your toxico and become a
lover boy.
lover boy?
The streets are cold. All right, like I have my fun, I have my time, and I mean, I just sometimes I want to go eat ramen with like a girl and like actually like and exchange feelings and that. So you can't get that with random girls you meet at the club and the bar. So yeah, and plus I'm pushing 30. I'm like, I can't be fucking in the streets. Like I got to go start a family. Like, so I was like, I'm ready. And then so now I feel like I'm at a place where I have time for a partner, where I can like I have time and I got money for it. Cause like back then, like I was like, right now back then I was just straight grind mode, grind, let's work. And now like I'm still like that, but I've been able to delegate my time a little bit better. And I'm like, okay, I do have time to have like a girlfriend, and I can still provide for her. We can go on dates and stuff like that. So I think now it's like a good time. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. So.
Anything you'd like to tell your future self, like when in like 5-10 years, when you're like, let me just see what Goose and I talked about, and if you remember only like 20% of this conversation, what's that 20% you're like, let me just look at that message from the past, and what would you say? I want to tell your future self.
My future self?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. It's usually, what do you want to tell your past self? So this is a good one. It's a good question. What do I want to tell my future self? My future self's looking at me like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I already know it. I would say, I guess it's don't forget where you came from. Like, don't forget about your people. I think that's about it. Like, cause I'm very like friends and family orientated. So I was like, just don't forget about them. Like if something goes bad, like try to like at least reach out. But I think that would be it. Like go, cause I like everybody in my life. There's no one in my life that I would not want to have in my life. So in 5 years, if they're not in my life, I would be pretty sad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What about a dog? You got any dogs?
The dogs? No. I'll get a dog when I'm like married.
Yeah.
I had a dog, but that's the craziest heartbreak. Last time I cried was actually, no, not that last time. I just recently cried. Before that was the last time when my dog passed. That was crazy. Yeah. But I'll get a dog when I have like kids so they can grow up with the dog.
Right.
Yeah. I love dogs.
Yo, and do you have a next comedy show that we can attend? Like, we'd like to go. Like,
not comedy show, but we're doing live podcasts.
Ooh, tell me about that. Yeah. What is that? Like, you're just performing your podcast?
I just perform it, and right now it's the Bueno tour. So it's Rex and then my friend Hans, co-host Hans, and we just go do a podcast on stage.
And how different is that
from stand-up?
From actually, well, that's like stand-up and podcasting in one.
Uh-huh.
And what's that journey been like for you?
It's nerve-wracking. We still got to get comfortable. We still got to get comfortable and used to it, because in the podcast we can riff off each other like that, like crazy. But then on stage it's a little different, because now you're thinking about literally the audience. They can't be bored. So usually with jokes between friends, like sometimes you gotta let it cook a little bit. You gotta do little pauses. But when you're on stage and there's a pause, even the pause is 2 seconds, it feels like it's 5 minutes. So we don't stop talking, and it's harder to like riff. So that's the part we're trying to get used to.
It sounds like a natural turn when you said that you ran out of things to talk about. So it's like, hey, let's just do it live now, because it changes the focus.
Yeah, and there's people there that we can interact with and we can talk to. So, and
are those shows recorded and then released?
Yeah, recorded.
Ooh.
So, yeah, we just did our first one in Dallas. Just came back from Dallas. That was very fun. Learned a lot.
What's the biggest thing you learned that you didn't know? Like, with that one little piece of rock that you're like, look at this diamond of knowledge.
Make sure the venues have reliable sound equipment. Oof. Because this one did not.
And that one's free, because then the next question, someone will send us an invoice.
Yeah, you guys gonna get invoiced. I remember I had to learn how to use a mixer, and I had to rent out these speakers and rent out all these microphones. I was like, why the fuck am I doing this at this venue when it should have been provided?
Damn.
But their shit sucked. So I learned that. I just learned what to ask for when looking for venues. So that's my main thing.
Oh my goodness.
And don't get too drunk.
And how does that add to the mystique of you being this performer? And like, how much of Saúl do people really get when you're
they get
doing
too much, bro?
Ew.
I gotta pump the brakes. They know wait. I mean, I like it. I love it. Like sometimes, like a random fan will come up to me and talk to me like they've known me for the past 10 years, and like I feel bad because I feel like I was like, wait, do I know this guy? I'm like, what's up, bro? Like, how you been? But I've never met him before. But he just the way he talks to me is that he's just super comfortable, and I love that they're super comfortable with me. But then sometimes, like, if I'm having a bad day, someone DMs me something about, like, maybe a girl or maybe something I said, and they're like, oh, that's probably why she doesn't like you or some shit like that. And I'm just like, oh, it's pissing me off. But it's funny. It's the life I chose. So I'm not complaining. It's just, that's the only thing. I do share a lot, and that's gotten me very in trouble with relationships. Ooh. I think one reason I've been single for so long is
too transparent.
I'm very transparent, I say. And then if I'm not transparent enough, there's a Patreon where I'm even more transparent.
Oh, wow.
It's invisible.
Wait, is this a Patreon of your shows?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that. You can invoice me.
We do, so we film for like an hour and 40 to 2 hours. Then after that, we do an extra 40 minutes on Patreon. And that's just a little bit more personal vibes. We're like, oh, what we do this weekend, bro. I was with 2 girls and we were fucking doing it. It was just crazy. It was crazy.
Skydiving.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Skydiving. Yeah, we're skydiving. That's what the Patreon is. So I've learned. I mean, that's what they signed up for. It's like tiers. So they got like the $10 tier, $20 tier, and then the $50 tier. So people enjoy that content. So we go that way. But definitely, whoever I'm dating, I'm like, don't go through the Patreon, please. Like, stay away. This is my job, all right? Like, you want to go on dates, all right?
And that's a brilliant strategy. You have your show, the public show, and then you have
the
more
brand friendly.
Right, the brand friendly, and then you have more
after dark.
The after dark behind the paywall.
Yeah.
But you're monetizing on that.
Yeah. And it's cool because since we're called IE and Friends, the Patreon is called Friends with Benefits.
Ooh.
Yep. So that's dope.
And why is it important to really take your own steps to monetize on your own stuff?
Because then you have all the power in the world. Like, you don't have to succumb to like someone's orders. Or like, I don't need to do that. Like, I got my own money. Like, I'll make my own money. And you just have more. It's just more creative freedom when you just have your own income coming in, instead of like having to worry about going somewhere and just doing a job you don't want to do and stuff like that. So that's why I recommend Patreon every single time. Like, that's part of my consulting package. Is like, we're gonna get you on Patreon.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm gonna have to, after we start recording, I'm gonna have to ask you like how much you charge for all that, dude, because I definitely like, this is a lot of work for people who don't know what this takes.
I can make it easier.
Yeah.
I can make it easier like that.
I mean, there's definitely things that I've done to downsize all of this and just be like, click, click,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that taking steps to be your own boss and to be the author of your own destiny is something that's very important. Yeah. And why do you wear that on your sleeves? Like, you're really transparent about that. Tell me about your life in the sense of like, why now?
Why now? I feel like it's not that why now. It's just like, I've always wanted it. I would have been the same way if I was like 13, 14. It's just something I just enjoy doing. I love entertaining. I love the entertainment world. But to be in the entertainment world, you have to make it into a business. You have to make it into, because or else it'll last you like 2 years. So if you don't make it into a business, you're there for 2 years, you're done. So make it into a business so you have longevity in the game. So that's what I did. I thought about myself. I was like, okay, I got to make sure, how do I keep staying relevant So I would keep making shows. So now I have 3 shows, all different hosts. So not only am I providing content, like they also got content. So it all works together as a big snowball.
And you're providing opportunities for other people.
Yeah. So I'm opening I think my favorite part is when I was doing a lot of like YouTube skits, I'll invite friends who've never acted before. And then they'll do it and they're like, yo, I really like acting. And then they'll like, I had like this one girl who I got into a skit, first time acting ever. She killed it. And she ended up doing an acting class like a couple months later, just because like she had the opportunity. Like she opened something she didn't know that she liked. And that was my favorite part. I was like, I want to give you guys all these resources to go chase your dreams. Because a lot of people just, they don't know what to do with their lives just because they haven't really explored all their options. So I was happy to give her an option, and she's pursuing acting. So that was dope. Well,
one of the things I love about you is like a lot of people have goals.
Yeah.
But there's very few people that actually have strategies into that. So that's why every time I sit with you, I'm always learning.
Yeah, there's,
everything's
calculated. Everything. Like it's not just like, I don't just do things, like everything has a purpose.
Saúl, living by design, not by default.
Yeah.
And what is like your next big like travel opportunity? Like when you take a break from like you're looking to go on vacation, like where would you want to go?
I want to go to Guatemala.
Ooh.
Yeah. I just saw like I follow this one girl. She posted she was there, and I was like, yo, this is gorgeous. So I kind of want to go there. Or like Oregon, Washington. I love trees.
Ooh, yeah.
I always tell people like I'm gonna retire like in Oklahoma, like in a cabin or some shit like that. Have a horse. That's how I see my life ending. Yeah, that's how I see like my life. I'll be like in a rocking chair.
Love it.
Yep.
With the sun on your face.
Exactly, on sunset.
Yeah.
Yep. Have a dog. That's how. But yeah, I'm very into nature. So,
nice.
Yeah, I think that's nature drives me. Like whenever I'm feeling like down, like I manifest a lot, and I'll go manifest at the beach, just to talk to the moon, stuff like that.
Oh, I love that. Like full moons on the beach.
Yeah.
Like I love sunsets at the beach. That's where we're gonna go today. But with the moon though,
the moon's different.
Yeah.
I
love the moon. I get more of my power from the moon. Me too. In the night.
I have this great manifestation practice I do, because no matter how old you are, the moon will always look the same. The moon will always look the same. So
damn.
What I do, and I remember this. I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, I used to stand outside my house, like in my backyard, and I'll stare at the moon. And staring at the moon, I just imagine what's around me. I imagine like right now, like I'm staring at the moon on the balcony of my mega $1 million mansion. The wind is hitting me, and then you can hear the palm trees. And I'm like, if I walk backwards, it's my master bedroom. And I get very detailed, like extremely detailed. I'm at my master bedroom, and I kind of have to go over my shoes because I just left them laying around. And then my phone charger is just hanging from the left. And I just get very detailed of what my master bedroom looks like. And it feels so real. And it feels like so real. So I told myself that one day I'm going to be looking at the moon. Like when I was like back then, I'm looking at the moon. And then maybe in 5-10 years, I'm looking at the exact same moon that I was looking at. But now living the actual life that I dreamt, like I pictured.
Oh,
but now
wow.
I'm actually on that balcony.
Dude, I've never heard anyone manifest that way.
That's my favorite way to do it. Or another way, like for the people lazy that don't like going out, you can lay on your bed. Because for the most part, a lot of beds all feel the same. So you can lay on your bed, close your eyes, and just imagine your room. So it'd be like, oh, if I walk that way, is my giant walk-in closet. And I have all my shoes to the right. And just get very detailed, get very funny with it. Be like, oh, my dirty underwears are still there and stuff like that. Just get it super detailed. So I also do that like when I'm just laying in bed.
Nice.
But I'm just very visual, like forgot the name of it, but it's like some visual manifestation thing.
I watch a lot of your clips when I'm at red lights.
Cool.
And I'm like, yo, let me just see. And then I just start laughing. And then I hear someone honking behind me like, hey, wait, I'm still trying to finish this video. Yeah. And so when you're looking at your life and you're like rapid fire, like I don't really know you that well, but if we're like discussing like favorites, like horror, you mentioned rom-coms, but what kind of movies do you like to watch?
Horror. Love horror.
What's your favorite horror movie?
You're gonna think I'm. So, one thing, I'm already gonna get judged. I know it. Like, when it comes to movies and films, I am like a little kid who sees bright colors and loud noises, and I love it. So, what's that one movie? The first one came into my mind. It's like, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh man, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it was just such a fun movie. It was the first one comes off in my head. I love Michael Myers. I love the whole Michael Myers series. I'm a big fan of like, don't kill Michael Myers.
Yeah,
he doesn't just die. I don't get why people get mad that he always comes back to life. Yes, that's Michael Myers.
I think of all the slasher movies, his is like the most successful franchise.
Yeah, so I love Michael Myers, and
you got a Halloween costume picked out this year?
Not yet. Last year I was a penguin. It was a hit. Oh my god,
a penguin, not the penguin.
A penguin.
I walk like a penguin, dude. I'm a little chubby and I just waddle places.
Exactly, bro. And that's the best. The waddle. I was like, not only was I a penguin, but I was a penguin. So I was everywhere I was going in that costume. I was waddling.
Dang.
It was dope. I remember I went to a club. It was funny because went to this club and all these girls look so hot, and all my friends are like, "No, bro, you gotta look cool. Like, girls, you gotta look hot, bro." And I'm like, I put up with the penguin costume. I got the most attention out of everybody. Dude. All these girls are like, "Oh my god, your costume is so soft." I'm like, "Yeah, waddle."
Dang, see, you're a mystery. You're an enigma, dude. Because like, you think you'd be like one way, but you're like softy inside.
I'm super like.
You're a softy.
I'm a softy for sure. I'm like, be yourself. Like, I'm how do you say that word?
Unapologetic?
Yeah. That word, myself.
Unapologetic.
Yeah, myself. I like to encourage people to be like, have fun. Like, dude, who gives a fuck? Like, if it doesn't make you look cool, like, if you do it and if you do it good enough and you do it and you feel 100% yourself, and you don't think you're cool, someone's gonna think you're cool. Cause like, yo, that person, I wish I can have that confidence. They're doing what they love. I wish I can do that. I remember some people would tell me like, oh, this is my weird collection of yada yada, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, you think that's cool? I was like, yeah, it's badass. I don't know anybody who collects fucking I don't know phones. You're a phone collector. That's dope.
I do. I have one over there.
I know.
Too.
I noticed. That's cool. Dope.
You know, this is my favorite time of year. It's a little colder. You know, Halloween's coming up, and you know, I was watching your show the other day, and I started laughing internally and externally because I've always told people, if you're not like linked up by Halloween, you're spending Valentine's by yourself. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's cuffing season.
Cuffing season.
You got, what's that? Oh, when, bro? Well, you got about a month. So October, ideally, you don't want to be in a relationship during October because the Halloween parties are crazy. They're fun. They're lit. But as soon as Halloween's over, I mean, couple costumes, couple those are fun. But going to a party every weekend for Halloween I had that. So that shit was fun.
Dude, there's people that celebrate Halloween starting like now. Like
I started yesterday.
Dang.
I got lit.
Dude, are you a big fan of the haunted houses?
I used to work as a scare actor at Magic Mountain.
Oh my, at Fright Night?
Yeah, I was a demon.
Oh, damn.
I got kicked in the balls one time.
Oh my goodness. So like someone reacting to you?
No, not even. Because her friend was crying and I wanted to amplify it. So I went to go chase her.
Oh,
and
dang.
her friend was like, stop, she's crying. Bow.
Oh, dang. Yeah. It got a little too real for her.
Yeah. It's just fun, bro. That shit was so fun.
Out of all the haunting attractions in the LA area, which one's your favorite?
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. So slept on, and not just because I'm biased, but Six Flags Magic Mountain. After working there, I realized like I started paying attention to the costumes, and I'm like, Six Flags. I was in makeup chairs for like 3 hours.
Damn.
Just doing a bunch of stuff to my face, and I remember even if you're just wearing a mask, they still at least darken like your eyes. And I remember I went to Horror Nights the following year, and I was just looking at people's masks. I was like, yo, these are cheap. Like, you just wore this. I can still see like the skin in your eyes. I can see like your skin from your gloves. Like, I was like, you guys,
you're too alive for me.
Yeah, you're too alive for me. Even though like Horror Nights does have really cool mazes, but the whole like Six Flags, that's if you want to get scared, it's Six Flags. And plus, the monsters can get on the roller coasters.
Do you prefer a scary roller coaster or a scary maze?
Scary Maze.
Dang.
Oh, have you ever been on X2?
No.
Oh, don't.
Dang.
It's just scary as fuck. Yeah, I'm scared of heights, so I'd rather do a Scary Maze.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I love being scared.
Yeah, it's fun. I love Halloween. That's my favorite time of the season. So I'm ready. I'm geeked.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you being here, man. And people looking out at your work. You have a lot of stuff that you're doing. You're busy.
Yeah.
You're busy.
Because I'm afraid to fall off. I can't go back to work, man.
Somebody once told me I can't go to sleep until all my projects have been realized.
Oh damn! No, I prioritize sleep.
Damn.
Like I'll go to sleep at 10 p.m.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm surprised.
I was like, I'd rather wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to work on the whatever I need to do, but I'm always gonna fall asleep. Now, like I push to 11 p.m., but I'm not gonna be up at like 1, 2 a.m. editing or filming. Like I love sleep.
Dang.
So I'd rather wake up early.
That's probably the most important thing I need to write down of all your consulting. I'm a night owl, dude.
No, I can't. I got scared one time. I heard I have this scary story that one time my cousin, who she was a huge into MySpace. She loved MySpace. She was on MySpace like 24/7, like in the middle of the night. And then she says that one time she was sleeping in her room and she heard the keyboards just typing by itself. And after that, I was like, I am never gonna use the computer after like 1 a.m.
Dang.
So that traumatized me.
Oh my goodness. So you're still on tour. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. We're going to do Arizona next in November. I don't have a date yet, but November, Arizona.
And how can people find you and get tickets to these shows? Because
We'll post it on Bueno podcast. It'll be there. Links, all the links are in the description. So
are you gonna do a LA show?
Yeah. I don't know why we've been slacking on that one. Everybody's asking, what about like LA? What about IE? I was like, let's just go around first and then we'll finish.
Hey, it makes sense. You know, that's what this guy does. He's like does all his stuff like outside, and then when he's got it refined, it's like then we're coming.
Now
home.
we go to the home.
Yeah. Dang.
Shout out to John.
Yo, what did you think of the American Historia? I know you and I were both there at the premiere.
I was inspired. Felt so inspired because that's literally what I want to do, and I see it like in a high production value, and it was put together so well. And I was like, I would love to do a project like this. So it just inspired me to like. I even wrote down notes. I was watching it and I was writing down notes. So I was felt super.
Dude, your brain's always working.
Does not stop. Or even when I wanted to stop, like it's not stopping.
Well, I want to shout out Ben De Jesus for his great work, but also for introducing you to me.
Yeah, shout out to him for giving me the opportunity to like come to me through. He was the reason, and he backs me up every single time. And I saw him like literally. I walked in, and he's like, "So," and I was like,
I have a video of that. He's like, "Yo, I'm proud of you. You're doing it,
bro. Can you send me that?
Yeah, I'll send it to you, dude.
Oh, that's dope.
And then he's like, shakes your hand.
Yeah. Wow, shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so, what was that moment like for you?
I like fangirled. I was like, oh shit, like, cause like there's, like it felt really like he pointed at me. He's like, "You're doing really good, Saul. Good job." And I was like, bro, you got this movie dropping tomorrow. I was like, yo, like this is a whole ass producer. Like he runs so many cool things. Works with John, and I'm just like, this dude pointed at me and he said, "I'm proud of you," and that's always surreal to me. Like,
it is surreal, dude.
Yeah, like he's my friend, but I'm still like whoa, like this guy's big time. I want to be like this guy when I grow up.
Yeah, I've known Ben 21 years, man.
Sheesh.
And so when he pointed at you, shook your hand, I even felt a little like emotional too, because I was like, "Yo, this guy's been my friend for 21 years, and Saúl's been my friend for 1 year, and he's gonna be on my show very soon." Yeah. And so I even took it as like, "Oh my goodness, I'm part of this world."
That's cool.
So
yeah, that was dope. That was a cool moment. I told my mom about that moment.
You said you're a retired toxico, man, but do you ever want to come out of retirement? Like, you have a kryptonite out there? Is that something?
Ooh, actually, you know,
is that
funny,
too secret?
No, I just announced it. Literally, I announced it yesterday that I have a girlfriend.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Congratulations, dude.
I know. It's unfortunately, bro.
Dang.
Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, I have a girlfriend. I just made her my girlfriend last week.
And did you ask? How to
ask her?
Yeah.
It's funny because I asked her like,
teach us. Oh, I'm like almost 50.
I asked her 3 times, and the first 2 times I just did it so bad. So I was like, I just want to redo this. So, but the official time I asked her, we went to get dinner, and then I asked the waiter to put like, "Will you be my girlfriend?" like on the dessert plate. So she got that, and it was the best cake ever.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's how I asked her, and yeah, she's super cool. She knows not to watch the podcast. Every time she watches it, she gets mad. So we set boundaries.
I like standing on ceremony and making things official.
Yeah.
I like knowing where everyone stands,
Yeah. And it was funny because I woke up the next day and I told her, I was like, "You're my girlfriend, right?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Cool."
Dang.
'Cause that's my first girlfriend.
What?
Yeah, I never had a girlfriend. That was my first girlfriend.
Well, welcome to the real world now.
I know. Yeah. I gotta chill out. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself. Like, I'm a flirty guy. I like flirting, but I've been out for like this past week, and I've been on my best behavior.
I tell people that people ask me if I'm dating. I tell people I'm retired. I'm a little old now. But
out the game.
But sometimes the game be wanting to pull me back in.
Hey, love comes when you're not looking for it.
That's true, dude. So I'm just gonna not look.
Stay away.
Yo, well, to echo Ben's words on the step and repeat, I'm proud of you too, man. I've only known you for about a year and seen everything you've been doing. It's like you're like everywhere, man. And just talking to you has also improved the things that I do. So I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I know you're always asking about Lola. So you're like her uncle. She's got like 30 tias. Very few tios,
I was like, for one of the podcast agreement, I was like, she has to be here.
Yes.
I can't put her away.
Yeah, literally, we're at Hollywood parties and someone says, "Say hi to your dog."
Every time I see him, like, "Say hi to your dog for me."
That hit me emotionally though. I was like, dang.
I love dogs.
So,
bro.
man, I appreciate you coming today, making time to be here. I know it's a busy day, busy time, cuffing season, and
I know she's been blowing up my phone this whole time. Like,
dang.
she thinks I'm like, "Chill, girl. Like, trust me, trust." Nah, just
Hey,
kidding. She's not toxic. I'm the toxic one.
I'm a toxic too, man. I'm like, sometimes I'm around a toxic guy and I'm like, "Dang, you're doing what I do." I'm gonna keep my mouth shut so I don't look as toxic as you.
That's toxic, bro. That is toxic.
Yo,
that's chess.
That's chess, dude.
Yeah, that's chess.
Well, thanks for coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
Break a leg out there, dude. I'll be seeing you on the screens.
Yeah. And for you guys watching that came from like my page, make sure to leave a like button. Leave a like, comment, share it. Show some love.
Thank you so much. Saúl Vicente Gomez.
Bye.